Hey everybody, welcome back to another hashtag Lockboss show and giveaway. I tell you what, we're going to have some fun, but happy July 5th. Of course, I'm here drinking Topo Chico. Cheers to all of you out there who are drinking it as well. Now, I tell you what, we have a lot of fun in store today. Not only are we going to be going over the memes and the comment of the week, and announcing this week's 5 lucky winners, we are also having Ken Nixon on. I figured, you know what? Who better of a guest than to have someone who essentially spent their adult life doing fireworks to come on the day after 4th of July. So I hope all of you had a fun and safe 4th of July, celebrating our country's Independence Day here in the U.S., and I look forward to chatting with Ken. Now, I've refrained from asking him what he did on 4th of July, although I tell you what, I'm really interested to know. But until then, let's go ahead. I'll pull up the slides. Let's have some fun. And then here at the end, we'll announce this week's 5 winners. One of the last thing I just remembered here. If you have questions for Ken here in a few minutes, I'll be bringing them on. Go ahead right now and text or just in the chat here, put your questions, and then Kylie, who's watching, is going to be texting them to me, and then I will ask Ken. So go ahead and put those in there, and thank you all for joining us. Let's go ahead and get started here. All right, posts of the week. Here we go. All right, this first one here was sent in from Joe D. If you look on the far left on the back rear passenger wheel there, you'll see a big old Lockboss sticker. And he says, our Lockboss stock car team won Friday night. We won first and second place. Very cool, Joe. Glad you're having fun. And man, that looks like a dirt track. And I tell you what, I like watching racing, but dirt track racing, I tell you what, is where it's at. That looks pretty cool, Joe. All right, next up here we have, here are the 2 types of tradesmen in the world. You can see on the left there, we have nice, clean, and tidy. And on the other side, we have, it looks like a gentleman who needs help getting his legs pulled there, get him out there. But I loved reading the comments on this one. It's really good, right? And how many of us strive to be on the left, but sometimes after a big job or a few busy days, we look like the gentleman there on the right. So, I often wonder with pictures like this posed, and maybe all of you know, but I just don't. But is that like someone had to pose for that picture? They had to, I'm guessing, for a meme or something, or maybe a cool friend took it. I don't know. I always wonder, like, what's the origin story on that? But I tell you what, it's pretty cool, guys. And thanks for all the comments on that. They're pretty funny. All right, here we go. Comment of the week. All right, it's from Carlos. He says, wow, great story. I love hearing other locksmith community. Man, I can't read today all of a sudden. I love hearing other Lockboss community about their background before coming a locksmith. Great advice too. You are successful doing in what you are passionate about. Very true. Yes, Carlos. And the truth is, I actually like learning just as much as you do from different community members. And it's really been a blast. And hopefully we'll have some more interviews out here shortly. All right, so with further ado, let's catch up with Mr. Ken Nixon. Now, make sure, if you have any questions you'd like to ask him about anything, go ahead and put it on there. Go ahead and text it to us, and we'll ask him. Until then, I have a ton of questions, so we'll be trying to get through our questions there. So,
hi there.
Ken, welcome back. Except for this time, you're live, right? So
thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have to be a little more careful on the bloopers, right? With the 2 of us being on here live. So, Ken, so we talked about it a little bit, but what was it like? We've seen all the comments and how many people were fascinated by your story. It's kind of a shocking, fun story.
Yeah. Well, that's true, but it is a true story. So it's following your childhood passion. So fireworks had been very successful to me, and with the blessings of the Lord, as I said. So,
Absolutely. So so I have to ask. So, yesterday was the 4th of July, which is, I'm guessing in your business, like your old business, the biggest event of the year for most people who do fireworks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
I did shot Lake Tahoe for like 30 years. That was a big show, the biggest on the west of the Mississippi. And I had a crew of 20. It took 5 days to set it up, 2 days just to put in the physical mortars and all that, and 2 days to load it, and then on the 4th to pull out and shoot it that night. That was a big show, a lot of work, but it was very rewarding for me because I got to see the design that I did, and I picked all the shells of the music, and of course with the sponsor had some input on the music, but that was so rewarding, to enjoy the work that you did.
Absolutely. So what did you do yesterday? As someone who ran all these big shows, I'm really curious.
Well, I'm kind of embarrassed to be on here. I should, normally on the 5th, it was all day just to tear it all down and put it in the truck, But yesterday, I had some friends over and had a little barbecue, and we shot some, just a few consumer fireworks. We were playing with sparklers. I had a whole variety of different kind, which are the better ones. But, in California, it was all safe and sane fireworks, right? And so don't want to have any issues. So have a little fire fun instead of firework,
Yes, that's a good one, Ken. That is a good one. So nowadays in your life on 4th of July, you're having fire fun, not firework.
That's right. Yeah. Used to be I was out on the 4th of July and I could get a bunch of calls for people that were having problems with our equipment, and every once in a while, and trying to deal with all that in the middle of actually doing a show was challenging, shall we say. Absolutely. But we never really had any massive failures. Probably some people know about the one in San Diego a bunch of years ago where it all went up when they initiated it. And that wasn't our firing system, but that was an operator error. If he'd have checked it all beforehand, he would have realized that was going to happen. So,
okay. So what, have you found any way to kind of incorporate fireworks or any part of the firework business to your locksmithing business? Like, have you found any sort of way that whether it's through anything at all?
Well, when I sold the business, I tried to market the Medico XT electronic system to the fireworks industry for their magazines and storage and all that, because it's really great. It has a memory chip and clock calendar chip. So it had a perfect audit trail. And I got a variance with the ATF, alcohol, tobacco, firearms, and explosives to use that to replace the 5-pin cylinder that was required. And they all loved it. ETF loved it. Everything was great till they saw the price. And that was the end of that. And then COVID hit. So kind of wiped me out of that business. I was following that career, but it was going up a blind alley, too expensive.
Okay, and so kind of explain that. So it's like some sort of like a box.
Well, the Medico XT system has cylinders you can put in padlocks and doors and all that. And it has an electronic key that talks to it. And if it has the authorization in it, and it opens the cylinder, and it has an audit trail and all that. And there's a memory chip in the cylinder as well. So you get all that data in the key, and then it's uploaded. And it was great for who's been in the magazine? Who was the last person in there? And then we didn't have to do an inventory because nobody had been in there for a month. Well, then that's okay. You have to physically walk around it to make sure it hasn't been broken into. But, the storage of explosives is critical. You just can't, you have to maintain very strict control on them.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. So I totally get it. So you figured out using your locksmithing skills, fairly simple way to get audit trail and key security on where those explosives were being held.
That's right. I mean, it was a system. It's made by Medico, so I was a dealer. Became a dealer for Medico XT Systems. It's known. Some people, I'm sure, are familiar with that out there.
Sure. Very good. That's cool. So, my phone's been beeping here, so I think Kelly has some questions here for us. So let's get to some of the questions here. All right.
I see Dad on there. I'm just kind of looking at a few comments, but
oh yeah.
I told him to make the stinger into the weenie cart. It's just like, put hot dogs out of it. That was pretty funny with all your hot dog eating contest. That was great.
Yes. Okay. So let's talk about that for a minute. I mean, Ken, what were your thoughts when you were watching that hot dog video?
Well, I was hungry. I need to go out and eat some hot dogs. Was my thoughts.
Oh, I tell you what, I know. Yeah, next week with part of our live, we're going to bring on Joey and, have him talk a little bit about that. But yeah, that was, I can eat a lot of food, Ken, but what I realized is I can't eat it like fast. And sitting like next to him dunking those buns, I mean, it was making me nauseous. I had to keep my head down, I mean, it's pretty funny. There's just something about dunking a bun in water.
I guess the water helps to make it go down, huh?
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, that was funny stuff here. But all right, here we go. So this is from Thomas James Reinach asks, what advice would you give to a beginner?
A beginner? Well, I mean, I had the passion. You just want to study and learn everything that you can, I mean, it's great if you could find a mentor, somebody to teach you. The key is the passion, then everything will follow thereafter. If you really want to be a locksmith, that's great. Start picking up learning things, I mean, you may have to spend a little money, but not a whole lot in the beginning. I mean, there's things I don't know because I'm not out there every day doing it,
Sure.
But I just, I'm a lock collector too. So I just kind of pick up locks and play with them and try to learn everything I can.
Okay. Cool. Here's another question for you. And I don't really know what they're talking about, so I'm hoping you do, but we'll find out here in a moment. How awesome was it to meet Leashy Cowboy? That's from AZ Sky.
That's pretty funny. Yeah. That's Jason from SE Lock and Key. I get down there to the south once in a while because my wife has some property down there. That's great, and Jason's great. He's just like he is on his Saturday morning live. So he's a great guy, and he gave me some things. I gave him a few things, and I just had to talk to him the other day because I didn't really know anything about grade 1 Schlage lever locks, and you need a special tool to unscrew it. That's kind of lock knowledge that I don't have because I'm not out there doing it every day.
Okay. Yep. Taking that nut off there.
Yeah, that's right. So I don't have a castle nut tool. So I didn't really know that. They called me there. They needed the keys weren't working right. They needed to rekey it, but I didn't really have experience. I've taken a lot of cylindrical knobs off before, but that one kind of threw me. I mean, eventually figured it out, but that's like it. You got to have a mechanical skills to be able. You're going to get thrown all kinds of loops all the time, and you got to muddle your way through it. You're not always going to be the fastest and efficient at first. But.
It's very true, right? Like this is definitely one of those industries where it's like you have to apply the knowledge you do have to solve the problems of the knowledge that you don't, because so much of it kind of builds on each other, on itself, I should say.
That's right. Problem solving. That's it. Well, that's everything you do in life, right?
Yep. Very, very true. All right. Next question. This is another one that I think, so this is from James Randolph.
Okay.
And he says, what would happen if we accidentally got you and Dusty Knuckles into the same room?
Oh, Dusty Knuckles. He's another locksmith, right? So we would just we would be talking locks all the time. And our wives, they run away somewhere else. what are you guys talking about? So we're just having fun, chatting about locks.
Yeah, that's good. All right. Next question. What was the one unexpected okay, this is from Everest C. Velux. Hopefully I said that right. What was the one unexpected difference between starting a firework business that you encountered when starting your locksmith business?
Boy, I mean, fireworks was just, it kind of started from zero and just kept growing. And I was working with my brother, and how do we solve this problem trying to make fireworks go with music? So in the locksmith business, I mean, that was just another passion. And, I didn't have much success trying to sell that Medico system to the pyro people because it was just too expensive. So I wasn't really thinking ahead on that problem because I know that they're very cheap in the fireworks business. They don't like to spend any money. That's the way it is.
Okay.
So didn't answer that very well, but it's hard. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's perfectly fine. But, it actually brings me to a question that just came to mind when I asked that, which is, how would you so in the lock and key industry, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times people, the tradesmen keep cards very close to their chest. Now it's getting better. We've been trying to really promote a lot more community between, right? It's better to be friends than frenemies, right? Yeah. But I'm curious, because there's a lot of secret trade type stuff or techniques and things that a lot of people, don't like to really share very much. I'm curious, in the firework business, is there that same type of thing where everyone's pretty secretive, or do they share information?
Oh yeah, well, they're secretive. I mean, they all have clients. They don't want somebody to go and take their other client. But all the CEOs, the main players in the fireworks business, I mean, they're all family-owned businesses pretty much, but they all have gigantic egos. My shows are the best in the world, and I guess the same is true. But the thing that surprised me most about the locks industry is how big it is. You just think about, a hospital, anything. How many locks do you physically have in the property you got? It's really a gigantic industry, and it's been around forever. It's just, I mean, you just look at these big companies and, Schlegg, whatever, Medico, all those. They make, I mean, I think the SFIC Best Factory claimed at one point they had I forget it was several, 4 billion in small format interchangeable cores installed throughout the world. That's a lot of locks.
It is. It's one of those weird things if you really think about it in this industry. It's like you interact with locks all day, right? When you leave your house, when you show up to your work, to when you leave. I mean, every aspect involves some sort of lock. You're right. Yeah, they're everywhere. Which is very good for us here because, right, we like to work with locks and keys, so it works out good.
Yeah, that's right. Well, locksmith, you get into door closers and hinges and other things like that are all related. And boy, if you got to be a fire inspector for fire doors and all these things are very important.
Absolutely. Well, Ken, I have one last question for you here.
Sure.
And it's probably the most important question that I've asked, which is, this is from the Locksmith Life. Chad, what's up? He says, hey, Ken, do you still have all of your fingers, brother?
That's right. That was one of the advantages of electronic firing or computer control is you can get some distance between you and the pyro because distance is your primary friend. It's more different in the proximate world where you have pyro in close proximity to the audience and the performers on the stage. And you don't want to burn them and all that. When you're doing outdoor aerial, the spectators are at a certain distance away. So you want to be back too. I mean, I've shot many shows where you have to light it with a flare, for smaller shows. And that's kind of real fun, but it's real exciting and doesn't always go perfect. But to do a massive show sync to music, you just can't do it with a flare. So I got all my fingers, and I've known some people that are no longer alive that have had accidents and been killed.
Ooh.
So, I mean, manufacturing is usually the most dangerous part, but display business with those big shows, I mean, those big shells can kill you in a heartbeat. So. Distance is your friend. You don't want to, you can't hand light some of those really big shells. You're not supposed to. You use it with an electric match and get some distance between you and the product. That used to kill me. I'd see people with push button systems and they'd sit right in the middle of it all and shoot it. Well, come on, you got all these cables. Get yourself away. I like being awake so I could see the show. If you're underneath it, you don't have the right perspective. So.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, hey, I mean, congrats on a long fireworks career and keeping all your fingers. I mean, that's probably something pretty good.
That's right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. People that are no longer with us. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, good stuff, Ken. Well, hey, I appreciate you coming, hanging out, getting to field some questions, and it's been just an absolute blast. We've been interacting for quite some time on the comments on the YouTube videos, and I've had an absolute blast getting to meet you screen to screen here. So
that's great. I'll look forward to seeing you and everybody at Aloha there. So
yes, yeah, it'll be a blast. I mean, we're weeks away now, so
that's right. Maybe I'll go out to lunch and buy you a hot dog.
Oh, that'd be good. That would be good.
All right. Thanks.
Perfect, Ken. All right. Well, hey, we'll talk to you soon, and take care. And we'll see you in the comments.
All right. Thanks, you all, for commenting, because I comment back too, and I see all that. It's great. It's awesome.
Yeah. Good stuff. We'll see you, Ken.
Okay.
All right, man. Was that fun or what, man? I appreciate Ken coming on, hanging out a little bit. Fascinating story. And, I figured it was just perfect to have him on right after the 4th of July. So let's go ahead now. Let me see how to do this here. All right. So with that being said, it is time to get on to the giveaway winners. Now, let's go ahead and go over the rules, make sure we're on the same page, and 5 people are getting hooked up. Here we go. What to do if you win. You're going to want to email us your shipping info to sales@CLKsupplies.com or call us at 800-848-6989, and we'll send you your gifts. How to win. Comment on our videos with the hashtag Lockboss. Winners will be chosen from the previous week's comments. All right, here we go. Let's do this. Winner number 1 this week is Ryan Bradley. Ryan, congratulations. Here we go. Winner number 2 this week is Gabriel your bride. Hope I said that right, Gabriel. Congratulations. Winner number 3 this week is Alex A. Alex A. Congratulations. Winner number 4 this week is Rodney Ritchie. And last but not least, winner number 5 this week is Outlaw Locksmith. Very cool. All right. So, guys, hey, check this out. I know you've already seen this if you watched the hot dog eating contest video. But right now, you place an order over $345. You can add the Lockboss Forever tank and koozie to your order. And you know what? I think we should give some away, right? Let's give some away. Let's give some away. For all of you hanging out with us right now, let's do this here. Let's do, let me think. Let's do 10. Let's do 10, and this is how it's going to work. So, of course, you can place an order, $345 or more. I appreciate all of your guys' support. But let's also just give some away for free right now, right here, right now. That's how it works. So the first 10 people that send a email to sales@CLKsupplies, but has to have the subject heading, needs to have who our guest was today. So first name and last name, put who our guest was today in the subject line, and then include your size. And the first 10 people are going to get a free Lockboss Forever tank with koozie. How about that? Make sure you include your size and your shipping address. So there you have it. All right, everybody. Well, hey, I appreciate all of you hanging out on this great Tuesday, July 5th. And we'll see you same place, same time next week. We have some good stuff in store, including a product that I teased about months ago. And it's here, and it's going to be with us at Aloha. And I cannot wait to share it with you, because the truth is we got the idea. If you remember a while back, we actually asked everybody what type of Lockboss stuff you would like to come out with. And through a bunch of the comments, we kind of like put them together, and like light bulb moment went on. And man, I cannot wait. Okay, I have one sitting right here next to me for some videos we're going to be doing. So it'll be fun to share it with y'all. Have a great Tuesday. We'll see you same time, same place next week. Have a good evening. We'll see you.